وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. خالد، كيف حالكم؟ بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، ونصلي ونسلم على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. وتجب الزكاة على المسلم إذا توافرت فيه شروط خمسة. So the zakat becomes obligatory upon a person if he meets 5 conditions. It becomes obligatory on the Muslim, when he meets 5 conditions. الشرط الأحد. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الشرط الأول الحرية فلا تجب على مملوك لأنه لا مال له وما بيده ملك لسيده. So the first condition is freedom. He has to be free. The first of the conditions he has to meet is first, number 1, he has to be free. He has to be free. The Muslim must be free. It is not obligatory upon the one who is possessed. The one who is possessed. This is because he has no property. He has no property, he has no wealth. And that which is in his hands, it belongs to his master, his owner. فتكون زكاته على السيد. So his zakat will be upon his owner. It will be upon his owner. So the one who owns him, the one who possesses him, is the one who has to pay zakat on his behalf. MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh Noor, is that you? عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. الشيخ جمال، بارك الله فيك. والشرط الثاني أن يكون صاحب المال مسلم فلا تجب على كافر. And the second condition is that the one who possesses wealth, that he should be a Muslim. And it is not obligatory upon the kafir. It is not obligatory upon the kafir. بحيث لا يطالب بأدائه لأنها قربة وطاعة. This is because, or this is the one who is not requested or called upon to carry out this act, because it is an act by way of which one seeks nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his obedience. وَالْكَافِرُ لَيْسَ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْقُرْبَةِ وَالطَّاعَةِ. And the kafir is not from the people of Qurba. He's not from the people who seeking nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not from the people of obedience. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah وبركاته عبد الولي. ولأنها تحتاج إلى النية. And this, like all other forms of worship, it is a must that it be accompanied with the intent or the niyyah. So the niyyah has to be present. ولا تتأتى من الكافر أما وجوبها عليه بمعنى أنه مخاطب بها ويعاقب عليها في الآخرة عقابا خاصا فمحل خلاف بين أهل العلم. نعم. As for it being an obligation upon him, meaning that he has been addressed with this obligation, meaning this call to Islam, and that he will be punished for it, meaning for abandoning it and not accepting this address in the next life or in the hereafter, a specific punishment, then the people of knowledge, the scholars, they are still debating on this issue. There's differences of opinion amongst them as it relates to this issue. وفي حديث معاذ رضي الله تعالى عنه فادعهم إلى شهادة أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا رسول الله. He says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so call them to the shahada, call them to the testimony of faith that nothing has a right to be worshipped except Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. ثم ذكر الصلاة, then mention the salah, then mention to them the prayer. ثم قال فإنهم أطاعوك فاعلمهم أن الله افترض عليهم صدقة يؤخذ من أغنائهم فترد على فقرائهم. متفق عليه. Then mention to them the prayer. Then say, if they obey you in this, then it is a must that they know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Afwan. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has obligated upon them sadaqah, that is taken from the rich from amongst them and is distributed to the poor from amongst them. And this hadith is muttafiqun alayh. It is agreed upon. فَجَعَلَ الْإِسْلَامَ شَرَطًا لِوُجُوبِ الزَّكَاةِ. So Islam has come and made conditions for, and made the obligation of giving zakat an obligation, has made it an obligation. So, once again, the first condition, wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The first condition is that the person should be free. The second condition is that he must be a Muslim. والشرط الثالث امتلاك النصاب. امتلاك نصاب. نعم. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. نعم. You can still send questions via phone or via live as we go. Absolutely. نعم. Yep. Okay. فلا تجب فيما دون النصاب وهو قدر معلوم من المال يأتي تفصيله. And the third condition is that the person must possess the nisab. He must possess the nisab. And its details will come. سواء كان مالك النصاب كبيرا أو صغيرا عاقلا أو مجنونا لعموم الأدلة. And this is whether or not the person is young, old, sane, insane. It doesn't matter. And all of the specifics, all of the legal proofs pertaining to this, all of the rulings pertaining to this are known and they're general. And this is because of the general proofs that are known as it relates to this issue. So it doesn't matter if the one who possesses the nisab, if he's young, if he's old, if he's sane, or if he's insane. And this is the third condition. الشرط الرابع استقرار الملكية. استقرار الملكية. That he is the established owner. That he is established owner of the said property. بأن لا يتعلق بها حق غيره فلا زكاة في مال لم تستقر ملكيته قدين الكتاب لأن المكاتب يملك تعجيز نفسه. نعم. ويمتنع من الأداء. So the fourth condition is the establishment of ownership. The establishment of ownership. Right? So that it is not connected to someone other than the one who has a right to it. So no one else can lay claim to it. No one else has a right to lay claim to it. Thereupon, no payment of zakat is due upon the property that someone else owns. Right? So you don't have to pay zakat on something that doesn't belong to you. If you don't own it, then you don't have to pay for it. But if it's been established that it belongs to you, then you have to pay for it. And the fifth condition is the fifth condition is مضي الحول على المال لحديث عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها لا زكاة في مال حتى يحول عليه الحول. رواه ابن ماجه وروى الترمذي معناه. Now, so the fifth condition is the passing of a full lunar year. The passing of a full lunar year. And this is in line with the hadith that has been narrated by Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha that says that there is no zakat to be taken from a property until it reaches 1 full year. Until it reaches 1 full year. And at-Tirmidhi rahimahullah ta'ala, he narrated this, he brought this with its meaning. And he actually brought this from the hadith of Ibn Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. Different narrator, but the same meaning. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If I just so happen to miss any questions, please let me know. Now, وهذا في غير الخارج من الأرض. And this is concerning that which doesn't come from the earth. That which doesn't come from the earth. Like, for example, fruits and vegetables and grains. فتجب فيه الزكاة عند وجوده فلا تعتبر فيه الحول وإنما يبقى تمام الحول مشترطا في النقود والماشية وعروض التجارة رفقا بالمالك ليتكامل النماء فيها. نعم، ليتكامل النماء فيها. عفوا. Now, however, as for what is produced from the land, then the zakat is entitled, it is due. It must be paid when it becomes apparent, whenever this harvest is cropped. Thus, the lapse of a year passing, would be of no importance, whereas the completion of a year, it remains stipulated with regard to money, capital, money, cattle, and that which you barter with, meaning that which you trade with, as a kind of leniency, towards the owner in order that the property can grow. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you all please make a dua for my father? He is a kafir, but he is dying. Please make dua that Allah will lead my father to Islam and give him shifa. Now, so we all heard that from the brother Downs. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him to Islam. May Allah make it easy for your family in any event. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide your father and allow him to embrace Islam before he passes away. Now, so in a nutshell, these are the 5 things that if a person possesses, then it is a must that he pay zakat as it relates to them. These are the conditions that make it wajib for one to pay zakat. Number 1 is that he's free. He's not a slave. Number 2 is that he's a Muslim. He's not a kafir. Number 3 is that he reaches the nisab. Number 4, that ownership has been established. And number 5, the passing of a lunar year for that which it applies to. For that which it applies to. And this is a brief summary of zakat. So we finished this pillar, and once again we're just scratching the surface. Throughout the month of Ramadan, inshallah, we're going to cover this stuff in detail so it's crystal clear. We just want to present the pillars and explain them a little bit. And inshallah, now that we've completed this portion of zakat, we're going to go back. We're going to go back and touch on some issues related to fiqh, because one of the most important aspects of Ramadan, outside of course fasting, is the salah. The salah. وفيك بارك الله. Ameen, akhi. Likewise. The salah. And we mentioned salah as it's the second pillar. It's the second pillar of Islam after the Shahadatain. So after the testimony of faith, it's a must that the person begins to establish the prayer. He starts to establish the prayer. So he's believed in his heart. He's made the statement with his tongue. Now it's time that he gets into the actions that are on the limbs. Right? So this completes the circle of faith, the three components: a belief in the heart, a statement on the tongue, and actions upon the limbs. And in order to do so, he has to first attain purification. He has to be pure. He has to be clean. So we'll go back to the chapter dealing with relieving oneself. Relieving oneself. How does a person relieve him, his, or herself? How is this done? Everything in Islam has been dealt with. Every issue of our lives have been dealt with. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his infinite mercy has instructed us on what to do as far as commands and prohibitions, and he has also given us the sunnah in order to explain for us how we should go about doing these things. No leaf has been left unturned. اعلم وفقني الله وإياك وجميع المسلمين أن ديننا كامل متكامل. Now, so it is a must that you know, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant me, you, and all of the Muslims success. Know that Islam is perfect. Islam is perfect in all of its aspects. ما ترك شيئا مما يحتاجه الناس في دينهم. And it has not left anything. It has not left anything unaddressed that the people are in need of as it relates to their deen. وَدُنْيَاهُمْ, and their dunya. إِلَّا بَيَّنَهُ, except that Islam has clarified it for us. So there is nothing in our deen, in our dunya, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his deen, has clarified it for us. So it is a must that we know that. ومن ذلك آداب قضاء الحاجة ليتميز الإنسان الذي كرمه الله عن الحيوان بما كرمه الله به. And from these matters is the matter of answering the call of nature. Right? In order to distinguish the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, to distinguish the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was generous with, distinguishing them from the animals. Distinguishing them from the animals. فديننا دين النظافة ودين طهر ودين طهر. فهناك آداب شرعية تفعل عند دخول الخلاء وحال قضاء الحاجة. So here are the legislated manners that are to be done when entering the place where one relieves his or herself and answers, or while they're in the state of answering the call of nature. So these are the manners. These are the manners of entering the place where you relieve yourselves and what you should do while you're in the state or in the condition or while you're answering the call of nature. فإذا أراد المسلم دخول الخلاء وهو المحل المعد لقضاء الحاجة فإنه يستحب له أن يقول بسم الله أعوذ بالله من الخبث والخبائث So if the Muslim wants to enter the place of relieving himself or himself, and this is the place mu'addu, this is the place that has been prepared for answering the call of nature, wherever that may be. Wherever that may be. This can be any place that's designated for answering the call of nature. Then it is desirable that he says, Bismillah. And you can repeat after me. For those of you who either know this dua, but are not sure if you're saying it correctly, or you don't know it at all. Inshallah, we'll try to have a board up whenever we get to a place where we're stable and not moving around and not locked away. Now we have to take what we can get. So you would enter this area with your left foot, and you will say Bismillah, 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 A'udhu Billah, A'udhu Billahi, A'udhu Billahi min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith, min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith, A'udhu Billahi min al-khubuthi wal-khaba'ith. With the name of Allah, I seek refuge with Allah from those male and female devils, those filthy devils, those filthy sick devils that hang around those areas where people unclothe themselves and relieve themselves. They enjoy that type of atmosphere. So imagine a filthy being like that. And let's look at how some of the people refer to other Muslims, other people of Sunnah, with words like this, with names like the derogatory names like this. He's a khabith. So when you hear the word khabith, don't get into the habit of repeating that stuff or spreading that stuff. If you hear someone talking like that about another Muslim, then stay away from that person. Advise that person. Don't spread this type of filth. Now, ويقدم رجله اليسرى حال الدخول وعند الخروج يقدم رجله اليمنى. نعم. ويقدم رجله اليسرى حال الدخول وعند الخروج يقدم رجله اليمنى. And when a person leaves out from that area, he steps away with his right foot and he says, غفرانك غفرانك غفرانك, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you. Alhamdulillah alladhi adhaba anni al-adha وعافاني نعم الحمد لله الذي أذهب عني الأذى وعافاني وذلك لأن اليمنى تستعمل فيما من شأنه التكريم والتجميل واليسرى يستعمل فيما من شأنه إزالة الأذى ونحوه. Now, and this is because the right side is used in those things that are from beauty and nobility, whereas the left is used for the things that you use to remove filth and harm, and similar like that. Right? So we eat with our right hand, we give with our right hand, we take with our right hand, we drink with our right hand, we shake hands with our right hand. So we relieve ourselves and we cleanse ourselves with the left. So the right side, we enter the beautiful, pleasant places like our homes and like the houses of Allah with the right foot, and we leave with the left foot. So we go to a filthy place to relieve ourselves, wherever it may be. Then we enter that spot with our left foot, and we come out with our right foot. وَإِذَا أَرَادَ أَنْ يَقْضِيَ حَاجَتَهُ فِي قَضَاءٍ أي في غير محل معد لقضاء الحاجة فإنه يستحب له أن يبعد عن الناس بحيث يكون في مكان خال ويستتر عن الإنذار بحائط أو شجرة أو غير ذلك. And if a person wants to relieve himself, answer the call of nature in other than a place designed for that, then it is desirable that he takes himself far away from the people. He goes away from the people so as not to be seen, an empty place where no one can see you, where you're alone, and he should cover himself. يستتر عن الإنذار. Now, he should cover himself and make himself away from eyesight, whether it be with a wall or a tree or other than that. A wall, a tree, or other than that. So a Muslim should always have shyness and modesty. We're not like other people who, expose themselves anytime, any place, not caring who's around, and they relieve themselves. It's not proper. It's not from the good manners of a Muslim. It's not from good etiquettes. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's not from good etiquettes. وَيَحْرُمُ أَنْ يَسْتَقْبِلَ الْقِبْلَةَ أَوْ يَسْتَدْبِرَهَا حَالَ قَضَاءِ الْحَاجَةِ بل ينحرف عنها لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن استقبال القبلة واستدبارها حال قضاء الحاجة. Now, and it is also impermissible to face the Qibla or turn your back to the Qibla when you're relieving yourselves or answering the call of nature. In fact, one should turn away from it. One should turn away from it. Because the Prophet ﷺ, he forbade us from facing the Qibla or giving our backs to it while relieving oneself. نعم. وعليه أن يتحرز من رشاش البول أن يصيب بدنه أو ثوبه فيرتاد لبوله مكانا رخوا حتى لا يتطاير عليه شيء منه. حتى لا يتطاير عليه شيء منه. And also, he should be careful so as not to allow the urine to splash. Allow the urine to splash so as to affect his body or his clothing. Right? So He should allow his urine to go somewhere smooth, a place where it's smooth and soft, a place where it doesn't splash. So it doesn't splash. Because urine is najis, it's impure. And from the conditions of the prayer is that you relieve or you remove the impurities. You remove the impurities from your body and from the place around you. And for those of you who missed the early fit portion, maybe we'll have time to go back over some of this stuff as far as the conditions of the prayer and stuff like that. Inshallah, yeah, we'll go back over that, inshallah. But these are things that we need to know right away. That when a person relieves himself, that he shouldn't face the Qibla, shouldn't give his back to the Qibla. He should go to a place where nothing or no one is, to hide himself, to have some shyness and some modesty behind a wall or behind a tree or something like that. If a person has to relieve himself in other than a place designated or built or constructed for that purpose. Nah, you're absolutely right. People in the streets, savages, beasts. No, we Muslims and we do things in the proper way. And then you have the people who want to attack Islam, the Orientalists and people like that who try to accuse Islam of being barbaric and the Muslims of being like savages. And look at the way we care for ourselves and the way we are as it relates to shyness and modesty and having haya and respect for other people and their privacy and their shyness. وَلَا يَجُوزُ لَهُ أَنْ يَمَسَّ فَرْجَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ وَكَذَلِكَ لَا يَجُوزُ لَهُ أَنْ يَقْضِيَ حَاجَتَهُ فِي طَرِيقِ النَّاسِ أو في ظلهم أو موارد مياههم لنهي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن ذلك لما فيه من الإضرار بالناس وأذيتهم. Also, it is not permissible. One should avoid touching the private parts with his right hand. And this is because وَكَذَلِكَ لَا يَجُوزُ أَنْ يَقْضِيَهَا, and is also not to relieve himself in the path of the people. That he shouldn't relieve himself in the path of the people. Or in the shade. Or in the places where they take water from, the places of water, where their water comes from. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he forbade that. So it's not to, because what it contains or what it has therein is harm. It harms the people. It bothers the people. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Right? Look at the mercy. Look at the mercy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the concern of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam for the people. That you don't urinate in the path of the people or where they take shade. You don't go to a park when you know the people come and they sit up under the tree and urinate where the people come and sit. Is there a ruling regarding talking while relieving oneself, i.e. on the phone or to other people in the house? Okay. Wa salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Khalid. As it relates to talking while relieving oneself, then as far as it being impermissible, I don't know the impermissibility of it. If a person wants to relieve himself, then he should make it, he should go in there. I don't know if you want to bring your phone. I don't know if that's necessary. I wouldn't advise it. You can drop your phone in the bathroom or in the tub. I won't say that it's haram. It's not impermissible. It's nothing that says that it's impermissible. It's not impermissible. I wouldn't advise it, but if you do it, that's okay. It's on you. But you shouldn't mention Allah's name. Not while you're relieving yourself. If you're in the act of relieving yourself, then you shouldn't mention Allah's name. So I would say avoid it, because it's difficult for a Muslim to not remember Allah when he's talking to someone else. Someone is going to be giving them salam. Someone is going to be sneezing. Someone is going to be complimenting you, mashallah, and so on and so forth. If it's a must, if there's an emergency situation or someone calls you and you just so happen to be in the bathroom, then okay, I understand that. But if you're relieving yourself, if you're on the toilet, then be careful not to mention Allah's name. I grew up in the projects on the south side of Chicago, and it was a common occurrence for people to piss on the elevators and in the hallways. That was a question, or that was a statement that was posted. And you're absolutely right. We see that even today, man. Even today, people have no regard and no concern for other people. To do stuff like that is nasty and it's disgraceful. It's nasty and it's disgraceful. And this is why we have to do our due diligence in teaching the people and educating the people and showing the people the good mannerisms of Islam and the Muslims and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made binding upon humanity. Barakallahu feek. Barakallahu feek. Barakallahu feeki. نعم. ولا يدخل موضع الخلاء بشيء فيه ذكر الله عز وجل أو فيه قرآن فإن خاف على ما معه مما فيه ذكر الله جاز له الدخول به ويغطيه. And just like we mentioned, it's not permissible to enter the places, or when a person wants to relieve his or herself, to enter that place, sit down on the toilet, or whatever you do, however, whatever position you're in at the time, and mention Allah's name. Nor should you recite Quran, play Quran, or carry your Quran. And if you fear, anything that you fear with you that may contain the mentioning of Allah, Allah's name. It's permissible to take these things with you into the bathroom, but you should keep them covered. You should keep them covered in your purse, in your pocket, on a counter somewhere, away from the toilet. ولا ينبغي له أن يتكلم حال قضاء الحاجة فقد ورد في الحديث أن الله يمقت على ذلك ويحرم عليه قراءة القرآن. And just like we mentioned, it's a must that a person tries to avoid speech. Here the Shaykh is saying not at all while a person is relieving himself, and it has come in the hadith where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade that. And it's also haram to recite Quran. It is also impermissible to recite Quran. Now, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yamqutu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he actually hates that. He hates that. فإذا فغر من قضاء الحاجة فإنه ينظف المخرج بالاستنجاء بالماء أو الاستجمار بالأحجار أو ما يقوم مقامها عفوا وإن جمع بينهما فهو أفضل وإن اقتصر على أحدهما كفى. Also, when one finishes, then they should clean themselves. They should clean the places where this excrement, whether it's urine or feces, they should clean those places with water by making istinja. Not stinja. Like people say you gotta make stinja. It's istinja. istinja, and that's with water, or istijmar, with rocks, or what stands in its place. Now we have toilet paper, paper towels, napkins, or whatever the case may be. And if a person was to combine between the two, then this would be better. But if a person was to suffice with one method, whether it be rocks, paper, water, then it will be sufficient. والاستجمار يكون بالأحجار أو ما يقوم مقامه من الورق الخشن والخرق ونحوها مما ينقي المخرج وينشفه ويشترط 3 مساحات نعم منقية فأكثر إذا أراد الزيادة، ولا يجوز الاستجمار بالعظام ورجيع الدواب أي روثها ويشترط 3 مساحات منقية فأكثر فإذا أراد الزيادة، ولا يجوز الاستجمار بالعظام ورجيع الدواب أي روثها. Now, okay, and this istijmar, like we mentioned, it should be done with rocks or whatever stands in its place. There are not too many people now who are wiping themselves with rocks. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of technological advances and things like that, we're able, now we have toilet paper and things like that. So this would take the place of something like that. In order to clean those areas. And it should be done with at least 3. It would have been 3 rocks, but if you were to use 3 pieces of toilet paper, they usually come in squares, or whatever is sufficient. If a person wants or needs to use more, then it's no problem. And it's not permissible for this istijmar to be done with bones, or with the droppings of animals. It shouldn't be done with bones or the droppings of animals. لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن ذلك وعليه أن يزيل أثر الخارج وينشفه لئلا يبقى شيئا من النجاسة على جسده ولئلا تنتقل النجاسة إلى مكان آخر من جسده أو ثيابه. Now, the Prophet ﷺ forbade that. He forbade that. And in reality, it's not mentioned here, but he says ﷺ that this is the food of the jinn. And it is a must also when a person is cleaning his or herself that they should clean this area to remove the traces of the impurities and to dry it so that this impurity won't fall upon his clothes or move to another part of his body or his thobe or something like that. So after you relieve yourself, you should make sure that you cleanse yourself properly and dry off. Make sure that it's dry. Some people, wallahi, I see some people go to the bathroom and come out so quick, it's unbelievable. It's no way possible that this person can be fully cleaning himself or herself. Women and men are a little different from what I understand. Women seem to be able to cut their urine off a lot easier than men. But you find yourself having wetness or something coming after you think that you're done, and you should make sure that you're completely clean and dry so that this urine or whatever, it doesn't fall upon other parts of your body or clothing, because this would be breaking one of the conditions for the validity and acceptance of the prayer. SubhanAllah, Sheikh. Just the thought of having to use rocks to wipe oneself is a terrifying thought. Yeah, it is, mashallah. Allah saved us from that. Allah saved us from that. We're living in a time where there's great ease, and there's no reason why we shouldn't be trying to perfect our ibadah. There's no reason why we shouldn't be trying to perfect our worship and our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah has made it so easy for us. Look at what's happening now. Look at the exchange of knowledge. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought the ilm close, that we can benefit from teachers and scholars and, people of knowledge all over the world. Right at our fingertips. Just like this. We can sit with the sheikh and not even be with the sheikh. SubhanAllah. It's good. This is also going to be a proof against us if we don't use these things in the right way. كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام القرآن حجة لك أو عليك. That the Quran is going to either be a proof for you or against you. For you or against you. Likewise, everything. Everything comes under that. Everything less than that or connected to that or similar to that. All of these technological advances and all of this, this ease. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made it so easy. We don't have an excuse not to worship Allah and exalt or exert ourselves in worshiping Allah. It's a lot easier for us than it was for them. Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nakir. قال بعض الفقهاء إن الاستنجاء أو الاستجمار شرط من شروط صحة الوضوء لا بد أن يسبقه فلو توضأ قبله لم يصح وضوءه لحديث المقدار المتفق عليه يغسل ذكره ويتوضأ. And some of the fuqaha, some of the scholars of fiqh, they say that this making istinja and this istijmar is a condition from the conditions of the completeness and perfection of the wudu. And it is a must that the person, it is a must that the person, proceeds his wudu with making istinja or istijmar. That a person has to make istinja or istijmar before they make wudu. And it is not, and the wudu will not be correct if they don't. And this is because of what Miqdad, he said, he mentioned the hadith that is agreed upon. Wash your private part and make wudu. Wash your private parts and make wudu. قال النووي رحمه الله تعالى والسنة أن يستنجي قبل الوضوء ليخرج من الخلاف ويأمن انتقاض طهره. So Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, and the sunnah is to make istinja, to make istinja, to clean your private parts before you make wudu, in order to be away from the differences of opinion and to be safe from having the purification nullified. Now, so Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, and we know Imam al-Nawawi, He's the one who authored the famous 40 hadith and Riyadh al-Salihin and other works that some of us may or may not be used to, like his explanation of Sahih Muslim and his book about dhikr and so on and so forth. And these books we're going to cover too, inshallah. 40 hadith, Riyadh al-Salihin. But he said that it's sunnah to do this. It's from the sunnah to do this. And this is better and safer so that the person can avoid suspicion and doubts so as to not affect his purification. أيها المسلم احرص على تنزح من البول فإن عدم التنزه منه من موجبات عذاب القبر. فعن أبي هريرة رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم استنزحوا من البول فإن عامة عذاب القبر منه. وراه الدارقطني. وقال الحافظ صحيح الإسناد وله شواهد وأصله في الصحيحين. O Muslim, be diligent in protecting yourself from urine. Because not doing so is something that will cause one to, or this is from that which makes or obligates the punishment of the grave. This will cause a person to be punished in his or her grave. And on the authority of Abu Hurairah, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, protect yourselves, to be careful, to beware of urine. For verily, this is something that will cause the one who does it to be punished in his grave. Actually, the majority of the people are being punished in their graves because of it. أيها المسلم أن كمال الطهارة يسهل القيام بالعبادة ويعين على إتمامها وأكمالها والقيام بمشروعاتها. O Muslim, verily the completeness of purification, that purification or having complete purification, it causes establishing the ibadah to be easy. It makes the ibadah easy. It makes worship easy. Subhanallah. When you clean yourself, first and foremost, spiritually, you clean yourself spiritually, you purify your soul and your heart, and then you cleanse your body. It makes standing and establishing the acts of worship easy. It makes it easy. And it assists in completing and perfecting the establishment of the legislation or those legislated acts. روى الإمام أحمد رحمه الله تعالى عن رجل من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى بهم الصبح فقرأ الروم فيها وأرحم فلما انصرف قال إنه يلبس علينا القرآن أن أقواما منكم يصلون معنا لا يحسنون الوضوء فمن شهد الصلاة معنا فليحسن الوضوء. So Imam Ahmed, rahimahullah ta'ala, he narrated on the authority of one of the Prophet's companions that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leading the people in the subh, in the fajr prayer. And this is another word for fajr, salah as-subh. And he was reciting therein Surah Ar-Rum. He was not certain about what he recited. So when the Prophet ﷺ finished prayer, he said, the Quran becomes dubious to us because of some of you who perform prayer without performing wudu properly, without perfecting your wudu, or without making your wudu the right way. So whoever witnesses the prayer with us should perform ablution correctly. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shakir Rauf. Naam. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Now I remember hearing this a long time ago. Abu Uwais, rahimahullah ta'ala, we were somewhere and we were praying, and he stumbled in the salah. It was either him or someone else was reciting, and he mentioned this, and this was the first time that I had ever heard it, that when people stumble in the prayer, that when you make mistakes, and the imam makes mistakes in the prayer, especially in those things that he should know, as this was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we know that he was a walking Quran. He was a Quranun Yamshi, and he made a mistake. And the reason why? Because someone was in the sufuf, who hadn't perfected their prayer, who didn't make their wudu properly. So think about this. These were Muslims. Now let's apply that to some of the things that we see today, where people invite non-Muslims to the masjid. And that's okay. Invite them to the masjid. That's okay. So that they can learn, so they can be taught, and they can see the Muslims interact with one another, interact with the non-Muslims, and worshiping their Lord together. But do not invite those non-Muslims to stand in the prayer lines. It's not permissible. There are conditions to that. And they break the saf. They break the roll. They break the connection between the believers. And they can affect the imam in his recitation and make him say things about Allah that may not be true. When you mess up the recitation, you're altering the speech of Allah. And imagine if there are people listening, people who understand Arabic, because not all Arabs are Muslim. And if they hear you distorting Allah's speech, and they go away with this misinterpreted speech, the speech of Allah, so be careful. It's not permissible to bring the non-Muslims and invite them to pray. You don't even make them make wudu. At least make them make wudu, even though that's still not sufficient, because the wudu is nothing without the shahada. The salah is nothing without the shahada or the niyyah. But you definitely don't bring these non-Muslim people, najis, impure, spiritually and physically people, to line up and pray with the Muslims, especially in the houses of Allah. Because if we want to teach them Islam, then we should teach them correctly. We shouldn't call people to Islam under false pretense. We should be gentle with them and kind in our dealings, but we have to teach them correctly. We can't bring them to Islam under false pretense and then later on tell them we lied. It's almost like we tricked them. So, man, you tricked me. You tricked me. You brought me here and you deceived me. I don't want to be Muslim no more. Right? Like those Muslim gospel groups. It's not da'wah. It's imitation of the kuffar and direct disobedience to Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Carrington. Do you know when Ramadan start in Haiti? I believe it'll start in Haiti when it starts everywhere else. And that should be either Friday or Saturday when the moon is sighted. and the moon is going to be sighted, inshallah, somewhere in the world. So whenever we hear that the moon has been sighted, we should begin fasting. And there are people who say that we should go with the local sighting, and we should try to sight the moon. But you have to be qualified in order to do that. It's not just simple as going outside and looking for what you think is the hilal. No, you have to understand the science connected to that, because there is a science connected to that. You have to make sure that what you're doing is correct, because Allah is riding on your testimony. That's why when the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, when Allah gave the command, the Prophet said that there has to be a person who is first of all, he's capable, he's commissioned, he's upright, he's just, he's honest. But if you don't have the proper knowledge and understanding, if you don't know how to go about doing what you're doing, you can be really deceiving the people and hurting yourself. And aside from that, if we hear that someone sighted the moon and people are fasting in other countries around the world, then we should be fasting too. So as not to cause this separation between the ummah. You got a lot of people that don't hate, that don't like, they really hate different places and people from other countries. This is sick. This is sick, because you have corruption all over the world. There's not a place on this earth where corruption is not taking place. A'udhu billah. But there are also people who are upright and who work hard to study the sunnah, to be upon the sunnah and spread the sunnah. And Saudi Arabia is one of those places. Not the only place, but definitely one of those places. The land of Tawheed for centuries. For centuries. And you have bona fide scholars there, from amongst the best of our scholars. And we have scholars all over the place who are from the best of our scholars. And we follow the ilm, wherever it may be. And if someone tells us, and we find that people are 8, 9, 10 hours ahead of us, and they start fasting, then we should start fasting and not be stubborn and following some ignorant person saying we want to spot the moon ourselves, and they have no idea what they're doing. So now you have groups of people, and you have Eid al-Fitr come, and you might have people praying the Eid on 3 different days. 3 different days in one city. A'udhu billah. You're absolutely right, sister. You're definitely held accountable for what you spread. Okay. So Imam Ahmed, he said, he was reciting the subh. So make sure that you perfect your wudu in all cases. And I remember telling this to some people one time. They complained about me. I go to the bathroom. I stay in there for a while. I really like to make sure that I clean myself properly, because I understand the body. And I had a guy, kind of complain or make a joke about it one time, Arab brother. And I told him, I said, the Prophet ﷺ, he commanded us and he told us, and he was known, he used to perfect his wudu. How can you perfect your wudu if you don't first begin by perfecting your istinja? You don't clean yourself properly after coming from relieving yourself, then how can you possibly have a good wudu? I've actually seen myself men, subhanAllah, who just say they don't clean themselves properly. Let's just leave it at that. And then with that being said, you soil everything you come in contact with. You sit on the masjid floor with urine or other stuff on your clothing, and it seeps through, and now it's on the floor of the masjid. Well, now someone is prostrating where your bodily fluids are. Your urine and your feces on the masjid floor in the house of Allah. People come to your house. We should tell the people, teach the people to sit down and urinate. Teach it to them from a medical standpoint. There's a lot of wisdom in legislation. And even if we don't know, the wisdom is there. And that shouldn't be a reason, whether or not we know the wisdom, We do it because Allah commanded us to do it. Sami'na wa ata'na. There's some wisdom behind it. It's the best way to relieve yourself. And it's easier on the internal organs. So a person should sit down and relieve themselves. You know, even in my place of business, I teach my students and my customers, you know, I tell them, hey, man, you know, don't stand up and urinate, please, you know, or clean up after yourself. I don't want these young girls, or even us men who sit down to relieve ourselves, lowering our garments, dropping our pants in your urine. It's disgusting. We start tomorrow, inshallah. Someone sighted the moon. Nakir, you heard that the moon has been sighted? I did that with all my boys. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Valentine. I like to practice the habits of Bilal radiallahu anhu. It's Bilal with an I. Yes, he did. Oh, no, it's going to be Friday or Saturday, inshallah, Sheikh. Inshallah. Okay. وقد أثنى الله على أهل مسجد قباء بقوله فيه رجال يحبون أن يتطهروا والله يحب المتطهرين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, praising the people of Masjid Quba, praising the people of Masjid Quba. He said, in it are men who love to purify themselves, and Allah loves those who purify themselves. SubhanAllah. Wallahu yuhibbul mutatahhirin. And the dua that we make after we make wudu, after the shahada, right? We ask Allah to make us from what? The people who return to Him in repentance and those who purify themselves. ولما سئلوا عن صفة هذا التطهر قال إنا نتبع الحجارة الماء وراه بزار إنا نتبع الحجارة الماء. نعم. Al-Bazar, he narrated a hadith Okay, it's some kalam about this statement, but Bazar, he related that when the people of Quba were asked about the way they purify themselves, they replied, we use water after using stones. We use water after using stones. وهنا أمر يجب التنبيه عليه وهو أن بعد العوام يظن أن الاستنجاء من الوضوء فإذا أراد أن يتوضأ بدأ بالاستنجاء ولو كان قد استنجى سابقا بعد قضاء الحاجة وهذا خطأ لأن الاستنجاء ليس من الوضوء وإنما هو من شروطه كما سبق ومحله بعد الفراغ من قضاء الحاجة ولا داعي لتكراره من غير وجود موجبه وهو قضاء الحاجة وتلوث المخرج بالنجاسة. And here is something that needs to be pointed out, or something that we should pay attention to. An important matter. And that is that some of the general people, and I've actually witnessed this myself, that some of the general people, they believe that istinja itself is from wudu. that making istinja is part of the wudu. And when they want to make wudu, they begin by making istinja, even if they've already done so after answering the call of nature. And this is a mistake, because istinja is not from ablution. It's not from ablution. In fact, it is from its conditions. It's from its conditions, as we have already mentioned. And its place is after one answers the call of nature. And it is not requested that one has to repeat it when it's not required. When it's not required. It should be done when one relieves himself and when one is removing impurities from those places of exit. Those places of exit. And like I said, I've actually witnessed this myself, where you find people believing, I've been asked this question, that people believe that you have to make istinja before you make wudu. And believe it or not, and this is not to take stabs or, nothing like that, but these were Arab people who asked me this question. So seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim, no matter where you come from. So a person is not knowledgeable in deen simply by virtue of where he or her is from. إنما العلم بالتعلم. Verily, knowledge is only acquired by seeking after it. You only gain knowledge by learning and studying. This is how you gain knowledge. أيها المسلم هذا ديننا دين الطهارة والنظافة والنزاهة أتى بأحسن. نعم. Yes. Nah, just like we mentioned, it's a condition, but it's not connected. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. Likewise, Habibi, Idris. You use stones the same way you use toilet paper. The same way you use toilet paper. And some of us have had to rough it before. Some of us know, especially the people who used to or who grew up being outdoors, who didn't have a lot of television and games, and we definitely didn't have internet or tablets and smartphones and things like that. So we played outside. We went to the park. We played on the monkey bars and swings, and we went hiking, and we went down by the creek, and some of us got caught out there. And we had to do what we had to do. And we used leaves, we used paper bags, we used whatever we could find in order to clean ourselves. It was natural. It was natural. Right? It was natural. So we've done it, whether we realize it or not. And all of these things are permissible. They're permissible. If this is what you have, then this is what you use. Except what? Bones and growth. Droppings. Barakallahu feek. Jazakallah. Wa qalu. Man qalu. وماذا؟ Where do we leave? بإحسان الآداب وأكرم الأخلاق. استوعب كل ما يحتاجه المسلم وكل ما يصلحه ولم يغفل شيئا فيه مصلحة لنا. فلله الحمد والمنة ونسأله الثبات على هذا الدين والتبصر في أحكامه والعمل بشرائعه من الإخلاص لله في ذلك حتى يكون علمنا صحيحا مقبولا. Afwan. So, excuse me, O Muslim, our religion, our deen, is a deen of purity, cleanliness, and being far away from filth. It has come with the best manners and upright moral characters, good manners, noble manners. And it encompasses everything that the Muslim is in need of. Everything that the Muslim is in need of. Our deen, mashallah, is complete. Everything is there. Everything is there. And as he said, alayhi salatu wassalam, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, that I have only been sent to perfect the upright and moral character, and cleanliness, and good behavior, and being mindful of ourselves and others, their rights, their space. All of this is from our deen. And these are the things that we should be mindful of. The way that we behave, the way we interact with people, even the way, as we've just seen, the way we relieve ourselves. The manner, not just for our personal selves, but even when we're out and about, so as not to affect the people walking by, sitting, resting, in the pathways, under the shade, so on and so forth. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Are there any questions that I missed? Any comments? Any corrections? By all means. Just going back to check if I missed anything. You know, we usually have this happen from time to time. I'm going to check the phone as well. So if anyone has anything, you can present it. Any mistakes that need to be corrected, any advices that needs to be given. Barakallahu feekum. Afika barakallah Shu'aib. Ameen, Sheikh. Allah bless you as well. Absolutely. I remember someone saying you can, within the gym, by urinating outside under a tree. A'udhu billah. A'udhu billah. We don't want to harm our brothers from the ins or from the jinn. Okay, we'll resume tomorrow. And we're going to try to hurry up and get through so we can start dealing with the wudu, so that we can start getting into the salah. So inshallah we can have a good Ramadan and get some good prayers in. The obligatory prayers, the sunnah prayers, the nawafil, the qiyam al-layl, the tawbah, istikhara, all of that, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Ameen, ameen. Now, and like we mentioned, the bones and the droppings, those are food for our brothers from amongst the jinn. So we give everything who has rights, who rights are due, we give them their right. And this is also from good manners and good interactions. Barakallahu fiki. Wa anti kadhalik. Allah reward you and bless you and your family as well. May Allah allow us to reach Ramadan. It's right around the corner, but we don't have to reach it. And that's something that we need to understand, that we look at ourselves as being entitled. But in reality, we're not entitled, we're privileged. Islam is a privilege. We've been blessed. We've been blessed because there are some people who are not going to fast this year, Muslim or not. Allah blessed us. And if He allows us to see Ramadan, and we can fast it, and we can benefit from it. We ask Allah to allow us to reach Ramadan and to benefit from it. Okay, now, inshallah, we'll pick up tomorrow. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.